Hey everyone! Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're diving into a fascinating and little-known aspect of Elvis Presley's life, his bizarre pre-show and post-show routines in the 1970s. Ever wondered what it was like to be the king of rock and roll getting ready for a performance? Well, hold on to your seats, because you won't believe some of the strange rituals Elvis followed before and after hitting the stage. From black coffee kickstarts to special concoctions for his voice, we're about to explore the quirky, sometimes shocking routines that kept Elvis Presley at the top of his game. Let's get into it. Elvis Presley's day didn't start until the afternoon, typically waking up around 3 or 4 p.m., a stark contrast to the early risers among us. His first ritual involved a strong cup of black coffee, a surprising choice given his refined taste, but it was just the beginning. To curb his appetite, Elvis took an appetite suppressant, which sometimes included a boost of amphetamine for an extra kick. His health regimen continued with a decongestant and blood pressure medicine, vital to managing his on-stage endurance and overall health. As he began to prepare for the evening's performance, he took a few hours to relax and mentally gear up for the show. Before stepping into his iconic jumpsuit, he received a B12 shot, popular in the 70s for its supposed energy-boosting properties, and an antihistamine to ensure his sinuses were clear, a critical detail given his phobia of congestion affecting his voice. Elvis's meticulous eye care was also a necessity, as he often suffered from conjunctivitis due to the dye he used on his eyelashes. To prevent sweat from aggravating his condition, he strategically used scarves to keep his face dry. But perhaps the most peculiar part of his pre-show ritual was the special voice shot he received, a concoction developed by a throat specialist. This blend of herbs, and possibly steroids, was believed to coat his vocal cords, ensuring his voice remained powerful and clear throughout his performance. These elaborate preparations were a testament to the lengths Elvis went to maintain his status as the king of rock and roll, ensuring he could deliver the stellar performances his fans adored. Number 3. During the show. During each electrifying performance, Dr. Nick was more than just Elvis's personal physician. He was a vigilant guardian, closely monitoring every move and nuance of the king on stage. As Elvis dazzled the crowd with his energetic dance moves and powerful vocals, Dr. Nick's eyes were trained on him, assessing his physical condition and detecting any signs of distress or discomfort. Whether it was a vigorous rendition of Polk Salad Annie or a tender ballad, Dr. Nick could interpret Elvis's movements, body language, and facial expressions, discerning whether he was in pain or at risk of injury. This constant vigilance was crucial, as Elvis's intense performances often put a strain on his body, and any misstep could lead to a pulled muscle or other injuries. Dr. Nick's role extended beyond medical expertise. It involved a deep understanding of Elvis's routines and an intuitive grasp of his needs. This meticulous observation allowed Dr. Nick to provide immediate care and make informed decisions about post-show treatments, ensuring Elvis could continue performing at his best night after night. Number 2. Post-show routine. As the final notes of the encore faded and the curtain fell, Dr. Nick's responsibilities were far from over. He immediately went to work assessing Elvis's condition post-performance, a critical task that involved not just a cursory check, but a detailed evaluation of how the strenuous show had impacted his body. Elvis's high-energy performances, marked by vigorous dance moves and powerful singing, often left him physically drained and in pain. Dr. Nick would carefully examine Elvis for any signs of injury or strain, particularly focusing on areas that Elvis had previously injured or complained about. To manage the pain and ensure a swift recovery, Dr. Nick would administer a carefully calculated dose of Dilaudid, a potent painkiller, mixed with either B12 or saline. This combination was designed to provide rapid relief and replenish Elvis's energy reserves. The B12 shot was particularly effective in combating fatigue and boosting vitality, while the saline helped to hydrate and recover his muscles. This regimen was vital, especially considering that Elvis often had back-to-back shows and needed to be in top form for the next performance just hours later. The quick recovery protocol was essential in maintaining Elvis's relentless schedule. Dr. Nick's precise and immediate interventions meant that Elvis could bounce back swiftly, ready to captivate his audience once again. This meticulous post-show care was a testament to the dedication and expertise required to keep the king of rock and roll performing at his peak, ensuring that each show was as spectacular as the last. Number 1. Challenges. Managing Elvis Presley's health was a complex and often daunting task, made even more challenging by the fact that Elvis was obtaining medications from multiple sources. Despite Dr. Nick's best efforts to maintain a controlled and balanced regimen, Elvis's fame and the pressure of his lifestyle meant that he had access to a variety of physicians who would prescribe him medications. This uncoordinated approach led to a precarious situation where Elvis was sometimes taking drugs that Dr. Nick was unaware of, creating a dangerous overlap and potential for harmful interactions. Dr. Nick had to navigate this minefield with extreme caution. It wasn't just about treating the immediate issues like pain or fatigue. It was about understanding the broader picture of what Elvis was consuming and how it affected his overall health. Each medication came with its own set of side effects and risks, and when combined, these could amplify in unpredictable ways. Dr. Nick had to constantly adjust his treatment plans, often on the fly, to account for the new variables introduced by other medications Elvis had obtained. This complexity was further compounded by the demands of Elvis's performance schedule and the high expectations from fans and management. Dr. Nick needed to ensure that Elvis could perform at his best while minimizing the risk of long-term health issues. This required a delicate balance of administering enough medication to manage symptoms and pain, without pushing Elvis into dependency or exacerbating any underlying conditions. The challenge was immense, requiring not only medical expertise, but also a deep understanding of Elvis's unique needs and a strong intuition to detect when things were going off track. Dr. Nick's role was as much about managing the human side of Elvis, understanding his fears, his habits, and his relentless drive to perform, as it was about the medical side. It was a high-wire act, balancing on the edge of potential health crises while striving to keep the king of rock and roll on his throne. In recap, Elvis Presley's unique pre-show and post-show routines reveal the extraordinary lengths he went to maintain his legendary performances. From his black coffee wake-ups and appetite suppressants to his meticulous eye care and special voice shots, every aspect of his preparation was finely tuned to ensure he could give his best on stage. Dr. Nick's vigilant care, monitoring Elvis's every move, and managing his complex medication regimen highlights the dedication and behind-the-scenes efforts that went into each performance. Despite the challenges and the physical toll, Elvis's commitment to his fans and his craft never wavered, showcasing a level of dedication that truly set him apart. If you found these insights into Elvis's life fascinating, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more intriguing stories, and stay tuned for future content where we dive even deeper into the life and legacy of the King of Rock and Roll.